Behind me is my 2013 Subaru BRZ, and I've owned this car for almost 4 years now, and it's just passed over 50,000 miles. I really haven't been driving it too much recently because I did not put the winter tires on it this year, so I've been just driving my truck around. But the car has about 52,000 miles on it right now, just passed over that, and there's going to be a lot of things that I want to talk about in this video that update you on what's been going on with the car and ownership experience up to 50,000 miles. So we're going to hop in the car right now and we're going to go for a drive, and we'll talk about the ownership of a BRZ for 50,000 miles. Alright guys, so the last update I gave you on this car mileage wise, we were at 25,000 miles, and there wasn't a whole lot done to the car at that time. It was on stock suspension, it was on stock wheels, pretty much everything on the car was stock other than it had an exhaust and it had a tune for Moto East tuning. The majority of this car's life has been driven on the Moto East Pro tune that it was on, and as of right now, currently, as you saw under the hood, the car is now boosted. That happened right around 43,000 miles, so that's going to be something that we have to talk about in this video. But first we're going to talk about the pluses of this car that I've had. It really hasn't given me any problems mechanically. I haven't had any serious major mechanical malfunctions. I'm knocking on everything because I hope it doesn't break. But we're at 52,000 miles now, and so far so good. We haven't had too many issues with the car. The only problem that I was really having was my clutch was squeaking, which I'm pretty sure is the throw-out bearing because these things like to go. So my clutch's days are probably numbered, considering that my throw-out bearing squeaks very lightly. I don't know exactly how much longer it has, but we're probably going to swap it out anyway. So the other problem that I was having with the car was not the car's fault. It was not, well, technically it was kind of my fault, but I put the supercharger on the car, took it to Moto East tuning, got it tuned. The car made anywhere between 240 and 250 wheel horsepower, which is not bad for this car. And then again, it's 8 pounds of boost, and I have the catless header, and I have the exhaust setup is the Borland equal length header catless, Burke muffler delete, and I have a Burke high flow catted front pipe, which is not catted anymore because I blew the cat out of it. Oops. So me and my buddy, since the cat was blown out of it, it was rattling like crazy. We decided that we were going to torch it and make it catless. So now the car looks like it has a cat, but it doesn't. So the exhaust is now catless. Anyway, getting back to the car being boosted again, it made between 240 250 wheel horsepower, and it was running really well. And then I brought the car home and it started squeaking like crazy, and I ended up seeing that the banjo bolts that I torqued on the in and out of the supercharger were leaking oil all over the belt, all over the pulleys, and I ended up having to clean them like 4 times, change the belt twice, and it still ended up squeaking. I took it to my buddy who's a good mechanic, and he builds a lot of high horsepower cars and maintains a lot of race cars throughout the season, and he ended up saying that the belt did not play well with the pulleys that were on the car. The supercharger belt would not sit in the pulley, it mostly sat on top of it and was grazing it, and that's why it was squeaking. So those pulleys are off of the car now. The only one that's anodized on it now is the supercharger pulley, so on very rare occasions will it ever squeak, and it'll only squeak for about the first 10 seconds of a startup, so not a big deal to me. I don't really care about that. So only mechanical malfunctions were the squeaking supercharger and the clutch. Not too bad. Now 2 other things came up that were very minor. I took the car to Atlantic City this past November, in the fall. I took the car to Import Expo in Atlantic City, and this one I hit 50,000 miles, so I was on my way there. I just filled up on a tank of gas before I left, and I get to about Philly, and anytime I step on the gas, I would step onto the gas, the car would go into boost very lightly, and I'd hit about 3,500 RPM, and the car would cut out, it would cut all power, and it almost felt like the car was like stalling. It would like throw me through the windshield because it just like lost all power, and I was freaking out. I was like, because it was pouring rain the whole time, so I was like, is the belt slipping? Is the car misfiring? Like, what's going on? And I was kind of like weighing my options about what was going on with the car on my way to Atlantic City. And on my way home, I'm pretty sure I figured it out, so I stopped to a gas station. I pretty much ran the car out of gas so that I could see if this was the issue. Ran the car out of gas, drove to a gas station, filled up, and then drove the car for about 20 minutes. Drove fine after that, not a single problem. So I'm guessing that the car had bad gas, but it was really not happy with me at all. It just did not want to do anything that was taxing the motor or anything. So I'm pretty sure it was saving itself from like a shit ton of knock because it was not happy to be running. So that was that issue. And then just recently, this was like stupid. I was going to work the other day and I'm almost to work and my ABS light and traction control light come on. Let me get up this hill first. I love that. And I was like, what the hell's going on with the car? And it wasn't driving any different. It wasn't acting weird. Just two lights came on and I was like, all right, no big deal. So I get to work. I shut the car off once I get there and turn the car back on, then the lights went away and they've never come back on since. Again, I'm gonna knock. But yeah, they haven't come back on and the car has been driving fine. So other than all of that stuff, which is all very minor things, the car has never had to go to the shop for anything breaking or anything like that. The car has been so solid to me and I absolutely love driving this car and I love it. And I'm probably not gonna get rid of it like ever, unless something else like really, unless I get something really cool that comes up. It's probably not gonna happen. I'm probably gonna be driving this car. Future plans for it is, like I said, the throw-up bearing was kind of scaring me a little bit, so I might be swapping the clutch out this year for a South Bend Stage 2 and then going E85 and trying to get more power out of the car, trying to break 300 wheel horsepower. Hopefully it'll happen, but right now the car is pretty solid at between 240 and 250 wheel, and I enjoy driving it very much. I'm gonna hit these corners up here. I love it. With the supercharger, the car is so much better. This is how, I know everyone says this, but this is how the car should have came from the factory. And it just changes the demeanor of the car so much that it pulls through corners hard. And it's just so much more enjoyable to drive. And it doesn't throw off the balance of the car, which I was very worried that it would do. But for the amount of power that the car's running, it didn't throw anything off. And it's actually damn near perfect the way it is. But a little bit more power if I did E85 would be kind of fun. So a couple of the negative things that have happened with this car in the 50,000 miles that I've had it is that it has been rear-ended. I've only showed you guys 2 times that it's been rear-ended, but it's actually been rear-ended 3 times. And the 3rd time was so minimal that I didn't want to post anything about it just because I was just like, oh, my car's hit again, and I don't want to be bitching about it. So I never posted about that one. I have pictures of it I can show you guys, and as a joke, I was put a Band-Aid sticker on the back of it because it was so minor. But it did end up getting replaced, and actually when I went to Pittsburgh back in 2016 when I went to Pittsburgh, the picture that I took on my Instagram where my car was at the gas station, the bumper was literally brand new in that picture, and the bumper was literally just freshly replaced that night. So in that picture, it's kind of like an Easter egg now if you guys go back and look at it. But when I was at the gas station leaving for Pittsburgh, the bumper on my car was freshly painted, brand new, and undamaged. So, however, we're going to talk about the other times when the car was hit because a lot of you are new and probably don't know about it. First time the car was hit, it had 7,000 miles on it, and I was rear-ended by a drunk driver. I was stopped at a red light. He ran through the light going about 35 or 40, and I ended up getting pushed through the intersection, slid to a stop, and the car had like almost $11,000 in damage, and it should have been totaled, but they didn't total it. I don't know why. Thanks to my insurance company, it wasn't totaled, so I don't know. However, the car was fixed, and it took about a month, and after it was fixed, I drove the car for 2 weeks, and I got rear-ended again. Ended up happening was, there was a weird intersection where I was getting onto like a highway, and I had a stop sign, and other people going the other ways had red lights and green lights and shit. The kid was supposed to stop at the red light. I looked up at the light, it was red. So I started to pull out. and I heard a crash behind me, and I stopped, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and the kid ran a red light, smashed into somebody head on, and then bounced off of their car and then hit my car. So that was pretty bad. My exhaust was messed up, my bumper was messed up, and all that had to be replaced, and it wasn't fun. But we're not going to talk about all the issues that I've had with body shops, because I've had a lot of issues with body shops, and I really don't feel like talking about it now, because that'd be a really long video. So in the time that I've owned this car, I've taken on quite a few road trips. I went to South Carolina in this car, and it got like 35 miles a gallon. It was really good the whole way. I didn't have a single issue with the car. I took it to Pittsburgh, like I told you guys, and that didn't have any issues with that either. And I got about 35 miles a gallon on the way there. It's been a really solid car. It gets good gas mileage. And then ever since I boosted it, when I took it to Atlantic City boosted, I got about 29 miles a gallon. And on my average right now, let's see what I'm averaging. I'm averaging 26.2 right now, which isn't terrible. So I mean, if you don't drive the car like an idiot all the time, you will get decent gas mileage with this car, even if it is turboed or supercharged. Mine is supercharged. No, it's not a turbo. I know it looks like one, but it's not. But I mean, it is a pretty economical car if you really do get down to it and think about it. So in conclusion, to owning this car for almost 4 years now and putting 52,000 miles on it, I would say that this car is a very good car for someone who's starting off and wanted to have something that's fun to mod. There's tons of aftermarket parts for it, and it's been damn near pretty reliable for me. I haven't had any problems with it at the beginning. I don't abuse the shit out of my cars, but I don't, like I said, I don't baby I've always said this in my videos, I don't baby my cars, but I don't abuse them. I treat them with respect, and I don't just like redline it all the time and just stupid stuff like that. Like, I have fun with it, but if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. I've done basic maintenance on it. I've changed the oil every 6,000 miles or so. It's full synthetic, so you don't need to change it every 3,000. The other maintenance thing I've done on it was the transmission and differential fluid. I've changed that, and I'm probably going to be changing it again pretty soon. I have Modal 300 gear oil, 75 weight 90, and that was probably one of the best investments I could have done on this car for the differential and transmission. It made the shifts so much smoother, and when you change the fluid in this transmission, like, there's a lot of gunk, and there's a magnetic drain plug, so it catches a lot of the gunk and everything, and it's gross. So I mean, I would highly recommend changing out your transmission and diff fluid. I've made videos about it, how to do it, and the review of the fluid that I've used. I absolutely loved it, and I think it's worth the money to do it. But I mean, just basic maintenance. I put gas in it, I've changed the oil, I've changed the transmission and diff fluid, but other than that, I haven't really had to do anything. Again, I've had to buy tires, but that's a whole nother thing. Like, you do that when you mod the car anyway. But if you guys do want to know the full entire mod list of this car, I will be doing another one of those for the car very shortly after this video. But I just wanted to catch you guys up on 50,000 miles as a whole with this car. Again, it was 22,000 miles up until then. It was naturally aspirated on stock tune. 22,000 miles to about 42,000 miles. It was headers, exhaust, and a tune. It made about 190 wheel horsepower. And now, with the way it is now, from 42,000 to 52,000, it has been supercharged with a Jackson Racing supercharger kit on 8 pounds of boost, and makes between 240 and 250 wheel horsepower, depending on the dyno and how hot the car is. So it's not that bad. It's solid. The car weighs 2,800 pounds, so it's very light. Spun a little bit. The car's fun to mod, and you get a lot of satisfaction out of it because you get to see the car grow instead of buying something that's super fast right out of the box. And I don't know, I just don't get the satisfaction out of buying a fast car and then just making it faster. Like, this was a really fun car to build and a really fun car to work on, because I got to watch the car grow, and then I got to grow as a driver with the car, and that's why I really love it. And that's why I always recommend this car to people if they do ever want to buy one. I love mine. Again, I've had it 4 years, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't trade it. I love it. So, in a nutshell, that is the update on this car up until the point of 50,000 miles. If you guys liked the video, Again, you could like the video. If you guys have any questions or comments about the car, about anything that's gone wrong with it, anything at all, about any of the mods, comment it below. I will answer all of your comments, and I do appreciate all of you sticking around and watching. Again, I haven't made a lot of videos of this car this year because our weather has been so whacked out, and we've been getting snow, and I didn't put the snow tires on the car this year because I wanted to make videos of the car with these wheels on it, because like the mod list would be stupid without the wheels on it. So I've been driving my truck around, and you guys don't really want to see videos of the truck because I've tried to make videos and nobody watches them because it's a truck, and I understand that completely. You guys came to watch the car, so haven't really made any videos, but we had a nice day today. It is currently 42 degrees outside and there is no snow, but we're supposed to get snow on Wednesday, and today is Monday. So I decided to make this video today, and hopefully I can get it out to you. So thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next video, and we'll be going over all of the mods that are done onto the car up to the point of 50,000 miles. So thanks for watching.